What is up, good people? Jungle Ink here, hope you're doing well. On Saturday, I did a very unpopular video, lost a lot of subscribers, saying Eth Gate is dead. Now, if you've been around the channel a lot of times, I'll discuss things, but I'm not the thought police. I'm not here to tell you what to think, what to do, whether it's buybacks, gold backing. Again, I'll throw my 2 cents in there. I'll give you my opinion, but I'm not here to police other people and all of this kind of stuff. Further, if I truly believe something, this is not my business. This is a hobby. Of course, I make ad revenue, but I will lose every subscriber telling you what I think rather than what I think you want to hear. This is my main point, and I hope we can come to an agreement. I absolutely think that, it's a good cause to push for justice and to go after people that have, significantly affected markets, caused a lot of damage, a lot of harm. But what I don't want you to do is to come back 6 months, a year and a half from now, and you see more integration with the XRP ledger and the Ethereum blockchain. You see Ripple doing more business connected with Ethereum, and you get angry at me saying you push this narrative that they're our enemy, and now we are directly kind of linked and related, and that's the way I see it playing out. Now, most people out there saying they can separate the two. They can separate the justice seeking with the investment in the technology part. Yay for that. I've done hundreds of videos talking about Hinman and Rat-Faced Joe Lubin, and I stand by all of that stuff. I'm just saying, please don't come back to me and say I misled you, because I think we're going down a certain path here. The XRP ledger is designed for payments and to be fast and efficient, and so since we aren't doing the smart contract stuff, someone's going to have to do that part of blockchain. Yeah, we could do a side chain, maybe try to move people on there, but I think it makes more sense to go where the value already is, and the building already is, and BlackRock and Coinbase and JP Morgan, where they're already going, and just see that Ethereum Layer 2, as Van Eck says, has $1 trillion worth of growth available here. Are you going to trust very centralized chain like Base that Coinbase is running that has a whole bunch of security problems? Or would you want to give a lot of that growth to something like XRP that's fast, efficient, and has over a decade of proven value for this very type of thing? We will see. I think the future is multi-chain, and I think XRP has a place within that. And I haven't been as excited about XRP as I am right now because of the upgrades we see. They just make so much sense with AMMs, cross-chain building, and stable coins, among others. There's a lot going on. I love it. I have not been this bullish in a long time. And you know that because if I don't like it, I'm going to tell you so. Anyway, just to lay it out there, that's the point. Most people told me they totally can separate, the investing and the technology from the wrongdoings, and I think that's all you got to do. I'm all for it. And lastly, if you disagree with something, if you dislike a video or things I'm saying, please feel free to comment down below. That's what this is about. All right, on to the news of the day. The SEC, they've issued a Wells notice to Uniswap, and we thought this was coming. Of course, they got their eyes fixated on decentralized finance. Uni being the biggest, and by a country mile, they're also the biggest target. We see the following. The SEC issued a Wells notice to decentralized exchange Uniswap, and of course, that's a letter of intent to sue. You get 30 days to try to alleviate the situation. Typically, there is no solution. You're going to court. That's what's happened here, you best believe. The chief legal officer for Uniswap said today's Wells notice against Uniswap is disappointing, but not unexpected from the SEC. So again, we knew this was probably on the horizon. If the SEC had authority over custodial, non-intermediate products, it could tell us how to register them. It can't, and so it doesn't. It has not provided any clarity or guidance, as several SEC commissioners have stated in multiple dissidents. Now, this is the thing. The idea of they didn't give us guidance, that really won't hold up, right? Like, the SEC didn't give Ripple any guidance, they're going to get fined a lot of money. It's really stupid. When an industry asks regulators, what do we do here? And they won't comment. If you won't take a stance, you shouldn't be able to sue people and things of this nature. But the world doesn't work like that. So the question is this: are any of those tokens on Uniswap securities? And I would say in general, no. We saw Judge Torres's ruling. We take a look at these tokens. They're not equity in any sort of venture. They are not some sort of loan offering with guaranteed, interest plus your principal back over an agreed upon time. Like, where's the security offering here? Where's the, transaction that the SEC should have authority over? But that's not going to stop them. They're going to make their rules up because you never know. A judge may just go along with it. They'll, see how this goes. Unfortunately, a lot of money is going to be wasted in court. What we need is laws. We need regulations. I agree there should be reporting for tokens. There should be requirements for decentralized protocols to make sure they are safe as possible and they are being fully transparent and following all the applicable rules and procedures. But the SEC doesn't get to decide that. We have to make those laws. This is a wildly different asset class with new technology that doesn't fit the old frameworks. And when we used to say that, the old school, they would scoff at us. They would say, the rules have been around forever, they're perfect. But you saw what happened in the Ripple case, where institutions, they had protections that the everyday person did not. That's not really the spirit of the law, but that's the way it's written as of now. We need new rules. We need new laws. The good news is this. Everyone's at war with the SEC, right? So there's not going to be any delisting or really, that I can see, at least harm to Uniswap. The token will continue to trade. Uniswap will continue to operate. It's not like when XRP got hit and everyone had to be so careful and they delisted the token across the board. Like, that was a different, set of power the SEC had back then that Gary Gensler has lost. And we already know how this essentially will play out. It will take years and we will waste millions of dollars. The Uniswap team will win, most issues out there, and the SEC will win on a couple obscure issues and rulings, and they'll get to collect a payday of sorts, but at what cost? Look, when the SEC sued you in the past, like, the whole industry jumped to attention. There was so much respect there, and it's just not there now. Everyone's like, yeah, we knew this was coming. We'll see you in court. We're going to smoke you. Let's hope that this government comes to its senses and passes clear laws, but unfortunately, there's so many problems everywhere. When will they get around to this is anyone's guess. Retail interest in crypto quite low compared to last bull run, says Lunar Crush CEO Joe Vinzani believes that despite the upcoming Bitcoin halving, there might be a significant shift in retail engagement. Vinzani said that compared to the last major bull run, social media interactions and overall retail interest is still quite low. This is what I'm going to tell you. The craziness is still gonna hit. Retail is going to come rushing in here. We are still quite early in this process. This is a very odd bull run for sure. Passing all-time highs before the halvening. Like, it doesn't even feel like we've got going yet. And quite a bit has happened. Of course, Bitcoin getting the first ETF in the history of cryptocurrencies was this, historical event. But one that doesn't really excite most real crypto enthusiasts, right? It's not the way that you or I may invest in crypto. I think it's very important. Gives another avenue for large investors to start, investing in this industry. But not one that gets the general public really excited and going. We have Ethereum, knocking on that door. We'll have to see if they get it here in short order or not. I've heard both sides of the coin here. Some think it's absolutely going to happen. Some think they're really going to kick the can down the road. I don't know. But the current crowd and mix-up is a little bit different. But I think Crazy Town is still going to happen. And you're going to see retail come rushing in here. And again, I would say it's likely still very early in this process. Bull runs, they last a long time. And typically my biggest problem is not having enough capital. All sorts of opportunities arise. And you're like, man, I don't want to sell anything I got. I've already invested everything I have available. Like, it's okay. Take your time, pace yourself, look for value. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity over the next year to year and a half. Arthur Hayes, issuing a warning, says that raging Bitcoin and crypto fire sale could be coming. His main point is, look, this is a little bit different. We're going into the halvening, and the Federal Reserve currently is very restrictive in their policy. Like, are they going to keep the interest rates as high as they are for the full year? Are we going to see another hike? Or are they going to start bringing it down? There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's quite different than prior halvenings. This is what I would add to it. We had the Bitcoin ETF, and I said, what, the excitement will subside, and we'll probably see a little bit of a lull. That hasn't happened, right? Demand has stayed strong. Price has stayed quite high, especially for Bitcoin. Generally, everyone gets by that halving and they're like, well, what now? Like, nothing happens immediately and they think, oh, I was fooled again. Like, I think this one has a lot of merit because it's cutting the supply. Of course, people are going to front run that effect. They know it happened. So, is it the greatest indicator? I think it's a fairly good target to gauge, where this cycle will go. But it's not something that, like, on day one, it's night and day difference. It takes time for that really to start having a major effect. We will see. Do we hit the summer doldrums here? We get by that big event. There's nothing really, exciting on the horizon for a little bit of time. Do we see the crypto markets kind of go through a doldrums? Or is this time truly different and just keeps raging upwards and onwards? I have no prediction for you. Time will tell. I'm ready either way. Let me know what you think, though, down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.